Okay, I'm at the entrance to a cave. Actually, there's two entrances off top of each other. So check this out. If I peek through here, over these rocks, there's a small upper level there. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up because can't hold my camera much higher. But there's a hole in the floor down to the lower level. That way it's too small for me to go. So instead, I go down here. So here's the name of the cave, OR015 and then 06. OR01506 is a catchy name for a cave. Now you notice ahead, I can go through there, or there's a way up there. The way up here is too tight for people, but I can fit my camera up here. So let me do that for a second. Hopefully those rocks look familiar. That's where I just was. That's the upper entrance. And then here it gets too small for people too. Interesting indeed. So you can see the lower level keeps going. There's that big rock in the way. If I felt like crawling, I could go around the left side of the rock. But I don't feel like crawling, so I'm going to go around to the right side of the rock. Now it's just steep enough that I'm going to go ahead and turn around and go feet first, so I don't end up upside down. Oops. See if I can climb over here. This cave's just a little bit tight. Now why is it not focusing? Man, no matter how many times I tell this stupid thing to focus, it never wants to focus. It's like it had one job. Alright, so notice over here, outside the tube lining, all sorts of layers of rock. Look at this. Look how rough it is in there. Don't touch that, it's very fragile. But anyway. Let's see if I can get my backpack down here. Now it's a little bit steep and tight, so I'm going to turn around and go backwards. But that'll be cool because you can see where I've been and where I could have been. Alright, there's the way I came in, up there. There's an upper level that I didn't go in because I won't fit. Very interesting little cave. Go backwards just a bit, so I'm past this big rock. Let's see what I could have done. So I could have gone around the rock this other side, but I don't mind climbing under there. Be a little bit of a crawl, but definitely doable. Of course, if you don't mind a really rough floor, suppose you could crawl through here. It's a lot of loose rocks. You have to be careful not to pinch your fingers. Safer to stay on solid ground or sandy ground. At least that won't hurt you too badly. Alright, let's see if I can get down here. I'm only like 10 feet underground here, which sure is a lot cooler down here in the shade. Wow. Look how rough the ceiling is there. Watch your head. Notice the floor is mostly covered in soft sand. This would be a really good cave to take beginners to who want to learn tight caves, because there's no real cliffs to fall off, but still kind of an adventure. Now here's the fun part. I'm basically at a four-way intersection here, kind of. Looks like I can go straight. Looks like I can go right. Obviously I came from behind. And it looks like I can go over there. And then watch the ceiling. Holy cow, that's a scary ceiling. Got some serious sharp points on this ceiling. Anyway, so the point is I'm going to skip to stay to a system. Keep going left. Let's go clockwise. Now I already went through here once today, so I know to the left is actually a dead end. It bulges out a bit, and that's all. But I thought I'd come over here and look around. Just to show you how uneven the ceiling is on the wall. And there's like this one smooth spot is like a mystery rock. It's probably a welded rock. So, very uneven cave. Got some cool shapes on the ceiling. If you see anything like that, please don't touch it. It could probably be broken off by you. Even solid rock can be broken if it's small enough. Okay, so now I'm still at the four-way intersection. I'm gonna go left next. And then back over there. And then finally, this is the way out. So this way over here is the longest, but it gets smaller and smaller. I'm not gonna do any belly crawls today. So I'm gonna go here where it gets smaller and then turn around and chicken out. Unless I change my mind. Wow. The ceiling is getting lower and lower here. So it becomes a little bit more work to keep going ahead. To keep the weight down on my backpack. I only have a few extra batteries for my light instead of my whole collection. I left the rest in my car since the car's not that far away. Help me travel a little bit lighter. I think what I'm going to do when I get to Eastern Oregon, take 2 backpacks. One to keep extra stuff outside the cave at the entrance, and then a smaller one for each cave to go in. What's weird is there's no sign of bats in here. The bats have to be somewhere. Yeah, I haven't seen any bats this weekend. Kind of suspicious. All right. The rocks on the floor are kind of rough. Some of them are worn down from people going through here. Obviously, I'm not the first to discover this cave, but there's still enough that they can poke you if you're not careful. So be gentle. Okay, this is as far as I'm gonna go. As you can see, the ceiling comes quite a ways down. I'm gonna get down on my belly just briefly so you can see it keeps going. In fact, it looks like it opens up again. It's hard to tell because there's a pile of dirt. You'd have to circle around to the right. But yeah, by myself, I don't feel like being that ambitious. I'll come back with some more suckers or people. See what we can do together. Safety in numbers. We can't all get stuck, can we? You know, I wonder what the world's record is for the most people stuck in a cave. And no, mines don't count. Mines are different. Mines are man-made. They're not necessarily durable. They're built just barely good enough to go in there, grab some minerals and get out. Caves, you know, they formed a long time ago. So if they're going to collapse, they would have collapsed by now. It's not really true. Eventually they do all collapse, but it's over a long period of time. So the probability of this one collapsing now, with me in it, is pretty low. Just like with anything else in life, you know, it's a gamble. Wonder if an earthquake could trigger cave collapse. We're pretty far from the nearest volcano that's active, so I don't think there's going to be any earthquakes anytime soon, but you never know. That would be interesting to look up how far away is the nearest active volcano, where's the nearest fault line, etc. Ask them predict when's the next earthquake. You know, I wonder how many sensors you'd have to bury under the ground to monitor the Earth to actually predict earthquake. My guess is you'd have to, like, along every fault line and every volcano, at least like 3 sensors. Triangulate any movement. Something like that. Wow. Look back here how there's like a gap. It's weird, there's like dry in there even though most of the cave is moist. Like the ground here, the light spots are dry. The darker spots are damp. So majority of this cave floor is damp. Not soaking wet. I mean, obviously there's no quicksand. It's above freezing. I think I saw a tiny bit of ice at the entrance, that's it. Okay, so now there's the way out. Before I get out, I want to go left here. Wow. Got some interesting colors here. Okay, so there's a dead end. Up here is a dead end too. Slightly larger dead end. Notice I'm right at the borderline between the sandy floor and the rock floor. Obviously the cave forms with the rock floor. Sand has been getting in from outside. Both by animals and by people and by wind and water. So it's semi-natural. All right, as you can see, that's a dead end there. Those are my footprints. I went back there to make sure it is a dead end. It gets a little taller, but it's definitely a dead end. So I'm not gonna bother to go through again. Got a couple weird colors on the ceiling here. Interesting. Alrighty then. Okay, so now the way out. What's interesting, I'm only like 30 feet from the entrance, but there's like an S curve between me and there, so I can't see natural light yet. So if you're in a cave like this, definitely pay attention to the way you came in. Assume that's your way out, because it's probably the only way out. Okay, so here's the way out. So I can crawl out. Oops, I see what I did. I accidentally turned up the light, pointing my... Okay, so I could crawl out to the right side of there. Oh, what the heck, my knee pad just fell off. All right. When they stay on, these are good knee pads, but they're hard to keep on. But I'm almost out, so I'm just gonna carefully bring it out with me. So I could crawl out through there, but it's easier to climb over on top of this rock, especially if I have a working knee pad. Don't get me started. I think I hear a car out there. I should go out and see if there's anybody else here who wants to be my friend or my enemy or spy on me. Could be a ninja. All right, here we go. I invited other people to join me today, but they never RSVP'd, so I have no idea if anybody's gonna join me today or not. But if that was the sound of an eruption, like a volcano. Once I get over this one rock though, this cave will be a little easier. This part of the cave, it's a little easier. Notice all the loose rocks on the floor though. All right, well, here I am at the entrance to cave OR01506. OR01506.